So that's going to be critical once again. We play a really good football team that's hot. They're playing good football right now. They've had some really dominant wins. Quarterback, they found him. He's been really, really good. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, a bunch of rushing yards. Really has done a great job. Combine that with the defense that's got a ton of sacks and getting after the quarterback equals a really good football team. So we'll have to prepare and have a good plan ready and come out and execute and play well in order to win.
Jeff, obviously the quarterback is big for Virginia Tech, but when you watch them from early on until now, what's the biggest difference in why they're playing so well right now?
Well, I think that the quarterback has definitely stabilized what they're doing on offense. They're going to control the ball, and it adds an extra runner to the offense that you got to account for and have a plan for. And if you don't, he'll expose you, and they've done that. And when they're doing that, they're controlling the football. I think Syracuse only ran a total of 47 plays in the last game, which minimizes possessions, which means you got to take advantage of the ones you have. Combine that with an aggressive defense that has gotten after the quarterback and got a lot of sacks equals wins. And some of their wins have been dominant wins, which means they are capable of playing at a really high level. So this is a big game for us, and we're going to need to get ready to play.
Jeff, being that Kyron and Devin Neal played together at Baylor last year, how much has Devin been able to help and knowing maybe some things about him that you guys maybe not be able to see on film?
Well, I think we'll get to that information this week. Devin's a really smart football player. He plays tough. He's always ready to play. He's prepared. And I think their quarterback has done a great job. He's young. He's gotten in there and taken things over. He's been more than efficient. He's a physical runner. He's understands and values the importance of the football. So we'll have to definitely in all of our packages account for him and his ability to run and escape and get yards.
Jeff, in your experience, a game like the Pittsburgh game, it could be a major setback. What did your guys show you in their response and practice in that game Saturday to show you that they have every intention of being in this ACC title race for the duration?
Well, I really love our team. They work hard. They prepare. They want to win. It means something to them. They stick together when things are maybe not going exactly the way we want. I think, it was a good moment for our guys to understand that you got to do the small things in order to win football games. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. I think that really alerted our guys that we've got to do this each and every week, and how important the one-game season mantra is. And I think they know that on any given week you can get beat if you don't play well. And I just think that identifying the issues we had, which I thought we did, turning the ball over, giving up a couple of big plays, not converting in the red zone. A lot of things happened that hurt us, and we just got to fix those and solve those. But I think our guys are more than willing to adjust and play hard and realize that every week there's a lot riding on each and every game. So you got to come ready to play and find a way to win.
Your offensive line the other day, just talk about the play, especially in the first half, pushing Jawari in. They were always down the field getting after it. And then you played some other guys in the second half. Were you happy with what you saw?
I think so. Our offensive line did a really good job. We wanted to establish the run and, get chunks of yards and get us in manageable third downs. And, I thought we were very good at that. Our line was coming off the ball. They were hitting people. They were knocking people back. They were finishing at the ball. They were pushing the pile, all those things you want to do. And so they had a great time. And it was a really good performance by them. Yes, we got more guys in the game, which we're going to need to. As we get throughout the course of the season, we're going to need more and more guys to step up. So it's important to get them valuable reps in practice, but also in the games if we can. So that'll be a important component. And, to this point, those guys have really given us a lot of great effort. Some of them have played nicked up and with some issues, and they continue to come out and compete hard.
Jeff, 2 of the last 3 opponents you played in Notre Dame and Pitt, their identity was have a strong defense and also have a good running game to kind of complement that. How much confidence does it give you guys knowing that you face a Virginia Tech whose maybe the schemes are different, but whose identity is kind of similar to that of Notre Dame and Duke?
Well, I think there's a lot of similarities. The one issue with this team is now, this team has a viable, um, really good running back that's playing the quarterback position, and they can do a lot of things. So, yes, he can play quarterback. He can throw it. He can execute the offense, but he gives them that element of running the football, and he's a physical runner. This isn't just a fast athlete. This is a physical runner that you have to tackle with multiple guys. He's involved in every one of their plays, as far as whether he's handing it off, faking the handoff, keeping it himself, getting on the edge with his feet. And that gives you a different dynamic. And, we have to, once again, figure out ways to make them do things that maybe they don't do as much. And I think we've had success with Notre Dame and Duke in getting a lead and making them throw the ball more than they wanted. That's not always going to happen. So you can make that your formula, but it doesn't always happen. So you have to be able to adjust and find ways to play when you're down, but also execute the desired plan that we're trying to get. And I just think that we've worked hard to have a vast package. We've worked hard at trying to improve the passing game. We worked hard at trying to create deep shots as much as we can. But at the same time, you eliminate sacks and turnovers. And I think our defense has improved each and every game, and they've played at a high level, and we play aggressive. But the last game, we really didn't give up any big plays, maybe one down the sideline on a scramble. So that was really good to see.
Just getting into this final third of the season, you've gotten yourself in position to, do something special for Louisville football. Teams get in that spot, and sometimes it makes them sharper. Sometimes they can embrace that and lose focus. Do you have a feel for where this team maybe is, and how do you ensure that it gets sharper with the opportunities it's given itself?
Well, I don't think it's too complicated. We've got to ensure it by blocking everything else out other than the next game. And, looking at anything other than the next game as a team and as coaches can get you in trouble. And I've been burnt enough time, and I'm sure others have as well. So it's as simple as let's improve this week and get better and try to go win this next football game. And I think, looking at whatever happens at the end is great when the season's over. But until then, for us, it's, how do we find a way to beat Virginia Tech?
Jeff, but with social media, kids get on that, they see it. It's hard to kind of block that out. Do you even address all of that stuff with your kids? Because media, fans, they are going to look ahead.
Well, fortunately, we address it almost every week. We address it in the off season. We address it through fall camp. We talk about the one game season, as much as we can. And that's really to eliminate the pressure of looking at, well, where are we going to be at the end of the year? I mean, everybody wants to be at a good spot. It's just like before the game starts, you want to win the game, but don't worry about where you're going to be at the end of the game. You better figure out ways to part one play at a time to get there. But I just think you got to just, it's okay to look at it. It's fine. I mean, you want them to see what can happen if you do things well and if you perform at a high level, because everyone else is going to see it. And yes, it's, I'm going to see it on my phone. My family is, our players, their families. Things crumble real fast when you lose. So it's as simple as just trying to, go to work, understand that the preparation, the hard work, the ability to stay hungry, and demand that you get your best performance the next game is what we're trying to do. And if we can do that, then sometimes things take care of itself. And if not, we know that we've prepared as hard as we can and we learn from it and move on to the next one.
Hey, Jeff, Jermaine Loleo had the strip sack last game, and he's flashed with a couple big plays lately. How much of a difference maker is he when he's healthy and in this kind of form on the defensive line?
Well, I think our D-line has done some really good things. The ability to play multiple guys and have different guys step up every game has been really good to see. Jermaine has been healthier. He made some good plays for us this past game, which is great to see. He works really hard. Jared Dawson came back from a knee injury. He was productive when he was in there, made some plays, pushed the pocket. We have more than those guys that we rotate in there, and Ramon and Jeff and even some others. And we rotate those guys around. And I just think that depth of reposition is very important. You're not going to always have it. We got to continue to build it at others. But at the defensive line right now, we have some depth, and keeping them healthy will help us perform better come game day.
Jeff, the first college football playoff rankings come out on Tuesday. How important is it? How much of a boost do you get recruiting? Just to be mentioned. I mean, it's kind of like publicity you can't buy; you have to earn it. But to be there and have them talking about your program.
Well, winning definitely puts you on notice, and people want to be a part of winning programs and playing big games and beat great opponents and be on the big stage. So all that is important to us. We want to continue to work our way up the ladder, figure out ways not to slip up as we go up, but knowing occasionally that will happen. But it's important that we just keep pushing through this. And I think that, recruiting is vital. We'll continue to do our part, which is a great place to play. And we want to try to continue to perform at the highest level we can and get the best players here that want to be a part of it.
Jeff, another defense.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch our defense. I thought we were pretty good from the day I got here as far as, the talent we had. There were some youth at a lot of positions, guys that haven't played a whole lot, which was always a concern. It always will be. But we like what we saw. They continue to improve. It's just a matter of getting on the field and executing. So I think we had some really good pieces on the D-line that have played football, and then some others that were young, and they've gelled together and played really, really well. And having the depth there has been very important at the linebacker position. There was inexperience. A lot of guys haven't played, but, those guys have stepped up. They played hard. They've done a really good job. TJ and Jalen are our two starters, but we rotate other guys in there, and they've all played their role, and we got to continue to build that depth. But I think that position's improving. In the secondary, two solid corners, and then Storm has come in, a transfer, done a really good job. A couple other backups you'll see on the field more, who are continuing to improve at the safety position. We had a couple injuries early that knocked us back a little bit. Luckily, we took a couple transfers there that have played well for us, and now. Our other safeties, Josh and those guys, D'Angelo, are getting healthy. We're able to rotate that. So all of it ties together. I think, covering guys, getting in front of guys, having a scheme that in all of our calls covers guys as much as we can within reason of the scheme, allows the defensive line and those guys just a little bit extra time to get pressure. So we just got to continue to tweak that every week, do what we do well and emphasize that. But also, I do think it's important to beat their quarterback and to have some disguise, to create some confusion, to do some things they haven't seen will always be vital to success while doing the things you do very well.
Jeff, this is kind of following up one of your earlier answers, but how do you kind of balance, I guess, or your philosophy with pursuing your goal, like pursuing the ACC title game and championship, with the one game season mantra of we have to be hyper focused on this? Like, is there any, kind of dessert you dangle out there? Like we can, get to Charlotte?
You know what? I'm not smart enough to overcomplicate it. So we try to keep it simple. And, as soon as you try to overcomplicate that, your mind starts to wander and you think of a lot of different scenarios and what can and can't happen and what we need to do, what we need to avoid. I just think that's fun for parents and fans and schools, and it's great. I mean, I'm all for it. But behind closed doors, I mean, this is a competitive football game. There's a lot of great players, great coaches, great teams across the country. On any given day, anybody can win a game. As soon as you get this much distracted, it'll cause a loss. So I've been through it. We've learned the hard way. It sounds simple, but you have to just focus on the one game in hand. This is a big boy football, competitive football every week. How can we beat the other team, whoever that is we're playing every week? And if you just continue to do that, hey, at the end of the year when it's over, we'll look back and hopefully like what we saw. And sometimes we look back and like, man, I wish we had a couple of these games back. We could have done this, but it's nothing more complicated than that. Yep. Well, we took a lot from the Purdue days. We were there 6 years, probably underdog in a lot of games. quite a few of the years we didn't start off well. We played really good football teams, really good non-conference games, 1-2, 1-2, 0-3. So if you don't keep a one-game season, you can really start to second guess what you're doing. You can really doubt how good you are. You can doubt what you're doing. But we were able to turn the corner in most of those seasons and improve as the year went on. And yes, when you get to the Big Ten championship game, I think after 1-2 start to the season, that's a really good accomplishment. So I just think, you got to, coach these guys every week. You got to continue to build their confidence. You got to, when they take the field while you're correcting things during the week, they got to feel like they're the best player in the country and that you're behind them and that you're going to call this thing aggressive. You're going to allow them to make plays. You're going to allow them to take risks and cut it loose. And you know what? You may lose a few because you do that. But at the same time, you may win some that you don't think you can. I just think we err on the aggressive side, but yet smart. We want our guys to play hard while we want to work them hard and motivate them. We want them to know that we're here to help them and that we want to, it is a game. We want to make it as fun as we can. So we want them to enjoy coming in here, putting work in. We want them to enjoy putting in extra work in. We want them to enjoy spending extra time with us to get better if they want to, because you have to do those things in order to win. And I just think the environment we have here, our players, like it, and they want to be here. And they want to work hard to achieve their goals, which can then equal to our team achieving their goals.
Jeff, 4 or 5 weeks ago, you were asked about third down conversion as far as your defense. Now, after 8 games, the opponents are still under 30%. What is it about that's been good this season? And then second, follow up on that, specifically Gilbert, that's one of his roles. That is, I think, his role. And he had a big game the other day on a couple of tackles and the interception.
Well, I think that we've done a really good job on third. Anytime you can get them in third and long or extra long situations, it helps the defense. I think the Pittsburgh game, as we look back on it, they got into very manageable third downs, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and that hurt us. So creating negative plays, getting sacks, pressuring early downs is very important. And we'll continue to do that. And it's not always easy. Some teams are going to come in and hammer away, get to manageable third down. And you got to stop it. So it's not always going to happen the way you want. I do think Gilbert is in our third down package. He's athletic. He's a former defensive back. We have him at that outside linebacker position. He can read the screenplay as good as anybody. He does it in practice. He's picked us off numerous times in practice, and they read the screenplay in the game, picked that off, and that's not easy to do. He's just got a good knack and feel of reading a quarterback and understanding the schemes because he's played some football in the past. So I just think they all play their role. We mix the D-line around a little bit on third downs to create maybe a few more pass rushers, and I just think continue to be aggressive, but yet multiple, and confusing the quarterback, giving different looks will always be important.
Jeff, another defensive question. You guys have only given up, 7 points in the first quarter through 8 games. What do you just attribute to that kind of a start?
Well, probably nothing too scientific there. I do think that, our teams have come ready to play. So that part I'm proud. I mean, even in the loss, I thought we were ready to play. I mean, we scored first time we touched the ball. We got to stop. We had the lead at half. So I think our guys work hard and they have confidence when they take the field. I think our defense has confidence in themselves and the package that we're using, and they play aggressive. And I think if we can not give their offense the ball back by having turnovers early on and sustaining some drives like we did this past game and putting points on the board early, it definitely plays to our advantage. So our defense is taking advantage of it, and they've done a really good job. So it's really credit to our players. I think they have played really hard early on, and they come ready to play.
Get you an offensive question for this one. Jawar Jordan is not the biggest guy, but that first touchdown last game, takes contact, continues to go. How is he able to run so physical at that size in between the tackles?
Well, he's a really talented football player. He works really hard. He's agile. He's athletic. He's very elusive. He can start and stop on a dime very naturally, which can create confusion and put defenders on their heels. But when he has to lower his pads, he'll lower his pads. And even though he doesn't weigh a lot, he'll get low to the ground, do the best job he can. I think he's protected the football. He's done a lot of the small things correctly. But yes, he does run hard when he has to. But if we can create space for him, that's when he's at his best. And without question, he's a big part of our offense, and he's been very unselfish doing it. Good, thanks.
Hello, everybody. You guys having a good day? Good. Great.
Coach Ellis, what we were talking with Coach Brohm about third down. You guys are holding teams under 30% conversion on third down. What is it about that group? You get some new bodies in there, first of all. What is it about that group defensively that is kind of gelled this year? And how important is it to have a few fresh bodies in there on those third downs?
I think the biggest thing is, Coach Brohm and Coach English approach the third down. Third down starts with winning first down and second down. Those are the tough downs. That's when you got your cleats in the ground and you got to get your nose dirty. Third downs are down where, hey, you can pin your ears back and have a little fun, but you got to win second and third down. As you know, the game of football is all about red zone and third down. So the more you limit opponents' opportunities, and the way you do that is get off the field on third down. I think our guys taking great pride in that. We talk about consistency or just being focused, and those guys just doing their job, and hopefully we'll keep having success.
So where have you seen the most growth in this defense from the time that you guys got here till now? Because obviously, Coach talked about just making adjustments every week, and how you feel like the guys have just kind of responded to that.
I think the main factor is that college ball is different from pro ball. Pro ball, they have preseason games. I think they have 3 or 4. In college ball, once you get through a fall camp, the foot hits the ball. And I think for those guys, just getting a good understanding of what we try and do defensively, and also as coaches, getting a chance to get a feel for our players. I think the guys have bought in. They developed in that brotherhood. And I think once you get into a game, they feel some success. It's just human nature that those guys want to gain more and more success. And we're just going to keep pushing the envelope and hopefully keep continuing to be, do well on defense.
Coach, how have you gotten some of the guys to kind of stay in their lane, so to speak, like not do too much, just kind of do what they can do, not over pursue, but also try to be aggressive?
It's basically like, fixing a puzzle. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle. And if one piece is out of the puzzle doesn't look right. And so we consistency and we harp on those guys just, hey, man, this defense is a fun defense to play in. Everybody can make some plays in this defense. But the most important thing is to make the plays you're supposed to make and just do your job. Coach English and Coach Hagan do an unbelievable job of showing the guys, making sure they have a clear understanding of what we're trying to do schematically. and what the offense trying to do to attack us. I think that's where Coach Brohm comes into where we teaching the guys defense, but he's teaching us offense. And I think we have that balance. Hopefully we continue to have success.
When Griffin went down early in camp, he was a huge part of what they were able to do last year. When they got better, it was really when he started playing. So how big of a blow did you all think that was, and how have you been able to overcome it?
First of all, MJ is an outstanding young man. And before I get to MJ part of your question, just after the injury, man, he been one of the greatest leaders. I had a chance Saturday night on our game. We got a chance in the fourth quarter, and they played the Joker and the Thief. And I look up, MJ is right there pumping the guys up. When you come off from a timeout or a sudden change, anything of that nature, MJ is there coaching the guy. We really call him Coach MJ. But to answer your question, once he's injured, you hate seeing a guy injured, especially a young man that put as much time and effort into his preparation that MJ does. But also, it allows guys to see the way MJ worked. And that's different playing DB. It's not about being all Hollywood. It's about coming to work every day. And the guys get a chance to see a visual of the time and the effort and the dedication you put in. And I really think when Cam, Mink, even Devin got a chance to see how hard MJ worked, they just bought in what he was doing. And I think it's a true brotherhood and a true leadership of that group.
Coach, Virginia Tech's been playing a lot better because of their quarterback and his ability to run. Jeff was talking about the challenge of facing their quarterback. When you have a quarterback that does present that type of a challenge, a physical guy that can go up against a defender, what kind of challenge is that for your group when you have a guy that might pull defenders from other spots?
He's a really good quarterback. I think they won 3 of their last 4 games. He's a big, strong guy. He's a dual threat quarterback. They can throw it. They can run it. They can make some ad-lib plays when things break down. He can convert on third down. So for us, it's about being fundamentally sound, staying in our gaps. When you got a chance to make a play, you have to make a play. But it's going to come down to us chasing the football. That's what it's going to come down to. The one guy missing, because he's such a good player, we're going to have other hats there to get him down. Because one guy's going to have a hard time getting him down. Like you said, he's a big, strong guy. He avoid a lot of tackles. He missed a lot of tackles. So we got to do a good job of chasing the football, pursuing the football, and getting hats there. So when one guy missed, we can attack with our leverage and get him on the ground.
Coach, it seems like Quincy was playing so well that teams have kind of been like, you know what, we're not even going to try. We're not even going to try. How do you kind of make sure because they haven't tested him a ton recently. How do you make sure he stays into it, and how good has he played this season for you?
I think Quincy is doing well for us. There's some things we definitely need to improve on, but he just steady at it. He come to work every day. He practiced with a relentless effort. The biggest thing with him is just, stay in it in the confines of the defense. If you don't get a lot of action, a lot of guys may want to drift. His main focus, stay on course. Just continue to do your job, and we got a chance to make a play, make a play. But again, like I said, it's a friendly defense for those guys. You'll get your opportunity to make plays, but just stay in the confines of this defense. When the opportunity presents itself, just make the play.
Steve, Jeff's talked a lot about how the secondary's coverage and ability to hold for that extra second or two has helped the defensive line be able to generate pressure. I'm curious how much more confidence your guys have on the back end, knowing that your front gets that kind of penetration consistently. Does it help them a lot?
I think it does, especially when those guys got Ashton, they got Steven, they got Tell, they got those guys chasing the quarterback. Just know, if I cover my guy for a half a second, those guys going to be there. I think it's a tribute to Coach Hagan, what he's doing up front, a tribute to Coach English with some different things he's designing so those guys can get home. Our job to make sure whatever call being called, be in the best position possible to help those guys, create positive plays for us on defense.
Sort of a two-part question. When Coach Brohm contacted you about coming here, how quickly did you make that decision? And then once you got here, did you look at this group and think this was going to be a pretty good defense, this good a defense?
When you get a chance to look at Louisville from afar, it is a place that, man, if I ever got a chance to coach there, I love to coach there. So when I finally got a chance to speak with him and I got a chance to be offered a job, I said, I'm there yesterday. And it's just a place I always wanted to be if I ever had the opportunity to. This is a great town, great fan base, great players. Look at tradition of Louisville, you think of the offensive guys. But when you think back with the Louisville tradition defensively, you think about a Ray Buchanan. You think about a Holloman that won the Jim Thorpe Award. You think about Jahir Alexander. That's a big-time corner in the National Football League. So just this past year, Trey Clark, getting drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. So you got a chance to look at that. You say, hey, man, guys have done really well here on defense, especially in the secondary. So it's always a challenge for you to try to uphold that standard and also that competitive nature in you that you want to play in the ACC, one of the top conferences in the country.
Steve, Storm has been forced into, he played some early, but with Jarvis in and out, he's been out there quite a bit. How do you feel like he has performed, since he's been out there?
Storm is a veteran, played a lot of ball in the ACC conference. So for him, it's just rolling guys in. His number was called the last couple of weeks. He stepped up. He did an unbelievable job, and I'm expecting him to keep having some success, even play better and better the more reps he get. He come to practice, he works, he studies, he prepares. He's been consistent. He's been a great leader for that room. Just an older guy with a businessman approach, and I'm definitely excited to have him part of this team.
When you have the success you guys have had through 8 games, there's going to be talk nationally about your program. You're going to be in different polls and different things. How much does that help as a guy who goes out recruiting? You were on the road a couple of weeks ago. How much does it help the positive news in recruiting? How much can you use this?
I think it's tremendous, especially as the media access that we have in the state of Louisville. You go out to high school recruiting, everybody sees us on TV. Just the brand itself. Even Lamar Jackson doing the things he's doing in National Football League. When you walk in a school, man, that Cardinal, it represents something. Guys know exactly who you are. Doesn't matter what state you in, they know that Cardinal. But for us, from a national stage of us getting the guys ready, Coach Brohm been preaching since I got here, just one game, man. It's a one-game season. And I think our players have definitely bought into that. My high school coach used to say, when you guys play for the man sitting in the top of that stadium that just had enough money to buy that ticket. And when he leave the game, make him say, man, that's a unit that plays like a brotherhood. They play with fire. They play with effort. That's a group I want to come watch play. And I think that was Coach Brohm. Biggest thing he's selling is, hey, man, it's a one-game season. Make sure the fans of Louisville, when they come to purchase a ticket, they can leave the game saying, I want to come back and watch that group play again. And that's something we try to do every Saturday.
I guess I was asking Jeff about this too, but to only give up 7 points in the first quarter through 8 games, is it an energy thing? Is it just a discipline thing? I guess, what do you see from the guys pregame that has allowed them to be able to have that success early on?
Again, I go back to Coach Brohm, just his attitude. It just is a one-game season. There's no ups, there's no downs. Just try to stay steady at it, and the preparation those guys put into the game. I think our guys do an unbelievable job, especially during the week of preparing. Just the way practice is structured, give those guys just a beat on what's going on, and hopefully we continue to do that throughout this season. That's good. Thank y'all. You guys have a good day. Yep.
Eric, that first touchdown, it seemed like everybody wanted to get in the end zone. How do you guys pride yourself on getting down the field as a line, helping Jawar or whoever it might be get a little extra yard, and how much fun was it to kind of, it was almost like it seemed like a race to get to him.
Yeah, that's always kind of our mentality is to get to the ball, follow the ball, chase the ball. Coach Owens does a great job of instilling that mentality in us. And, really it's, don't let your guy get on the pile. Don't let him make the play. For me on that one, I was chasing the ball because didn't really get the backside cut off. So, I wanted to try and make up for that. And saw Mike was the first one there. And then as you saw, everyone kind of got there. And, we want to do whatever we can to help Jawar, Isaac, Maurice, all those guys, whoever has the ball. So, it's, trying to be high effort, however we can.
Mason, looks like you're getting healthy. Jermaine, Jared Dawson. I mean, you've got a ton of bodies up there on the defensive line now. How does that, I guess it motivates you the time you're in to go all out, because who knows how many plays you're going to get. Is that kind of the way all you guys are operating now?
Yeah, I mean, it's really awesome to see everybody getting back healthy. Obviously, you never want to see people be injured. You never want to see people deal with those things. Me specifically, I've just found it to be good to be able to come back, and I've enjoyed every opportunity I've had, and I know all the other guys are doing the same thing. So it's really awesome to be 100% in the D-line room.
Mason, what did the Notre Dame game do for you? I mean, they have offensive linemen, people talking about being top 10 picks, and, Hartman hadn't been sacked that much there, and you were back there quite a bit. Kind of for your confidence, how much of a boost was it moving forward?
Yeah, good boost. My first game back, I played a little bit in the Boston College game, and that was just, knocking the rust off, having some time. But I was just playing the game that I've always played, doing what I knew I could do, doing what my coaches are confident in putting me in the game, knowing that I can do. So, yeah, it was a good game for sure, but not satisfied at all.
Mason, obviously, Devin Neal played with Kyron at Baylor. I wonder if he said anything about Kyron at all, or what's kind of the scouting report right now on Kyron. What have you guys have seen from him?
Yeah, we're just going through breaking them down. Just going to be another game for us where we focus on what we got to do. It doesn't really matter who the opponent is. Yeah, you scout for them and you go through and add that to the game plan a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's our game, and as long as we play the game defensively that we know we can, we'll just go in there and be able to take care of business for sure.
Mason, kind of to follow up on that, though, when you do have an opposing quarterback who's physical, can run, is going to come at you, how much of a challenge that is that? Obviously, you need to be a little bit more disciplined. Is it a little bit more challenging to stay disciplined like that when you know he could be taken off?
I wouldn't say it's more challenging. We've played some good quarterbacks already this year, some guys that are dual threat, can do it both in the air and with their legs. Like I said, as long as we play our game and focus on what we need to do defensively, I don't think there's really anybody in the country that is going to be a problem for us as long as we, do what we know we can do and play our game. Like you said, yeah, he's a good quarterback, but at the end of the day, it's up to us and our game. As long as we do right, we'll be fine.
Mason, you made a comment that you're not anywhere near where you think you should be. What do you have to do to get better? And the defense seems to be getting better as a whole, week in and week out. What are you doing better, and what do you have to do?
I'd say just more reps, just practice reps. I think as a team, offensively and defensively, we're getting better each week of the season. I mean, it's easy to see that from the public eye. Defensively, specifically, like you said, we just need more reps. We're getting better each week, proving to the country that we are the best defense in the country. And that's just what we need to continue to focus on doing and keep proving that to everybody else.
Eric, the first full game, well, obviously Pittsburgh, he didn't play, but it was kind of with Renado's injury, it happened so fast. You guys were prepared all week without him. Just talk about missing him first, and then, Austin filling in, and you got some other guys, some reps.
Yeah, obviously that was a tough moment for all of us. Nado's such a leader for us. He's been around here for a long time and kind of an emotional leader for us. And, he's still helping us, the best he can. And, we want him to get back as soon as he can. Perfect. But yeah, that was tough. And, obviously Austin stepped in at halftime of the Notre Dame game, played the whole Pitt game. And then this was really the first week that he knew he was going to go in and play the whole game. So, he did a great job. And then, we played 8 offensive linemen on Saturday. JP, Josh Black, Trey got in as well. And, to have that depth is something that, we've built starting back, when we all got here at the end of May, early June. And, being able to have that as an offensive line is great. We have guys moving around, playing different spots. And, as we get deeper into the season, getting everybody reps, game reps are different than practice reps. So, being able to kind of build that depth through game speed is great. And, whoever's called upon is going to be ready.
Hey, this is for both of you guys. The path to the ACC title game is clear cut now. If you win these 3 games, then you're in. How much, if any, have you in the locker room? Have you guys talked about it? And how do you kind of, I guess, balance chasing that goal with Coach Brohm and the mantra of 1-game season?
Yeah, it's out there. It's kind of in the back of everyone's mind. But, the forefront is it's a 1-game season. Like Coach Brohm, like everyone's talked about all season, and having that mentality of, Virginia Tech's the only game on our schedule right now. So, we're not really concerned with other things. And, if, people on social media want to, forecast and all that, that's great. But, in this building, we're concerned about, playing Virginia Tech and doing what we have to win on Saturday, because we've seen what's happened, when, maybe we have some letdowns. So, trying to avoid that, just have a good week of practice and go in on Saturday and have another great opportunity.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say, everyone's going to talk about it, but like Eric said, it's up to us and what we do. So we think of it as just 1 game. Everyone's going to say, oh, if this piece loses and we win this and all that, but that's all just talk. If we just take care of what we need to do and win our game each week, prepare for it, go out on Saturday, come out with the win, we'll be fine. We'll be in the position that we wanted to be from the beginning. So.
Yeah, this one's for both of you guys. How would you describe the attitude and physicality your position groups try to bring to set a tone each game? Because it seems like, especially against Duke and Notre Dame, 2 teams that pride themselves on those things, you established it pretty early that you were going to dictate how that game is going to go.
Yeah, it's definitely something we take pride in, and that starts during the week of practice. We have a lot of great battles. With Mason, Ashton, Steven, Jermaine, all those guys, they make us better. And, we think we make them better too. One-on-one pass rush every Tuesday, Wednesday is a fun 10 minutes. And, we get to compete against them, and that kind of sets the tone for the week. And, we want to, everything starts up front, offensively and defensively, how you block, how you tackle. So, we know the game kind of starts and ends with us. So, we want to take pride in that and, kind of be leaders for this team and, keep that going through the rest of the season.
Yeah, we definitely take pride in the trenches. Pre-game warm-ups, we come together, we do our reps against each other a little bit just to warm up, but then we break it down on trenches because, like Eric said, it does start up front. We can set the tone offensively and defensively on the line. So if we can dominate the line of scrimmage, then more than likely we will dominate the game.
Basically, kind of going off of that, talk about setting the tone. Obviously, only 1 team has scored on you guys in the first quarter of the season. Is it just an energy thing, or what do you attribute to kind of getting off to kind of start like that in those games, and how do you keep that going against Virginia Tech?
Definitely an energy thing. We come out ready to play. We want to start fast. We pride ourselves on that. Start fast, finish strong, finish fast, all of that. We know that we come out and play with energy. If you turn on the tape, you can see our defense fly into the ball unlike really any other defense in the country. I mean, we get 11 hats to the ball every play, because that's who we pride ourselves on as a defense, just being the Red Swarm, being who we are, and making sure that we take care of business defensively.
Eric, I have to ask, in between the 3rd and 4th quarter when the Jokers played, the offensive line seems to have a little more fun than – I mean, everybody's having fun. The offensive line seems like – is that something that you all have talked about, or did it just happen, and how did it kind of start?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely have a lot of fun with it. Kind of just happened. I think it started really the Murray State game. A lot of guys were really getting into it, and it's kind of progressed week over week. Not something that we're prepping for, but it's cool to see. Just kind of the energy from the whole sideline and the whole crowd, the whole stadium. It's really kind of taken on a life of its own, and you know, having big games brings about big energy. So the next game is the biggest game on our schedule, so we'll see what it looks like on Saturday.